Vanakkam. In the series of Periya Puranam, written by Sri Shekirar, I am going to do two different Naayanaar's story today. Some Naayanaar stories are very long, like Sundaramurti, Athiringana Sambandar, Appar, Manikavachakar. They are the four main pillars of Shaiva Siddhantam. So, other Naayanaar's stories are fairly, compared to their extensive stories, they are fairly shorter. So, we are going to see two different Naayanaar's story. The first one is Ilayaangudi Maara Naayanaar. Ilayaandran Kudi Maara Naayanaarkum Adiyen. That's how Sundaramurti Naayanaar sang the Tirutondrathogai. As usual, Lord Shiva always brings out the what we call the true devotion of his ardent devotee by some means or the other. Of course, he will put everyone to trials and tribulations without passing that test, that the devotee cannot become a true devotee, even though they are true devotee in their own sense, but Bhagavan has to give his own test to see whether they accept. So, in that connection, there was a small village by name Ilayaangudi, and in that village there lived a great devotee called Naayanaar, and their family is an agricultural family. He wanted to grow the rice or any pulses or grains or anything, and then that is his way of living. But when he lived, he will always find another Shiva devotee, who we call Shivanadiyar. Those who work or serve Shiva, he will first call them, he will find them, call them, feed them a sumptuous feast every day. At least one person should come and eat the sumptuous feast, what his wife cooks, and both of them will serve together. Because of this, as I told, Bhagavan will tolerate any of our abuse or rebuke, but he will not tolerate if his devotees are disrespected. So when he saw this Naayanaar is always respecting his devotees and gives them food to their heart's content and serve them, after that only they will eat. The husband and wife will eat after they serve the Shiva devotee, who we call Shivanadiyar. So, as this Kainkarya was going on, the service to the devotee of Shiva was going on, his wealth, prosperity, fame, everything grew by leaps and bounds. But Bhagavan thought, will this devotee does this feeding of Shiva service, one who does service to Shiva, when he has wealth, or will he continue when he doesn't have wealth also? That is child's play for Shiva. So he thought, I must think about it, and then we must show whether this person is going to behave in the same way, like what Bhagavan Krishna preaches in the Gita, how to react when there is sukha and how to react when there is dukkha. If you maintain the equilibrium, whatever happens in your life, that is the great yoga. Okay, so that policy, Lord Shiva wants to test how this Naayanaar and his wife are going to take in. If they do not have money, if they do not have anything in their life, how are they going to serve my devotee? Okay, so that was his a thought. The moment he thought, Naayanaar started losing his wealth somehow, because it's Ishvara Ichha. Whatever he thinks will happen. Still, he sold all his possessions. He was not unwilling to part with all his possessions. Okay, that itself is a big Our baggage is our possessions. If we get rid of them, we are free to fly. Okay, so he started selling each and every bit, whatever he had in his house. Finally, he moved to a hut. From the palatial house, he moved to a hut, and then they lived happily in that. But he was continuing his agriculture with whatever small land he had, and the backyard, a small land, whatever he had. He used to sow the seeds and all the stuff. And then somehow, sometimes he had to borrow from somebody else. But feeding the Shiva devotee is his main aim or main dharma, main kartavya, the duty he felt. Why should a person feel that somebody has to eat first, then only I can eat? Of course, our Bharata Desha is famous for the Atiti Satkara. Whenever guests come, we always give the upacharam to them. But still, when you are in penury, how can you think of feeding someone and then eat? But it's a Bhagavan's will. Lord Shiva has decided to show his true bhakti. Whether he had money or whether he has no money right now, how does this person behave? Okay. So, dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukeshu vigataspraha, what Bhagavan Krishna taught in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so he wanted to say. So, Shiva has decided the things are going in that way only. One dark pitch dark night, heavy rains pouring outside, and that day whatever he could do the Kainkaryam, Naayanaar has done, and it's already almost midnight times. He knew that nobody is going to come home, so he just locked the door and he was sleeping, and both the husband and wife, they did not eat from the morning. Okay, they just drank some water and they are keeping quiet. And he did not complain and he did not find fault with Bhagavan. Bhagavan, it's your fault that I am starving. He didn't say that. He was, yes, we had once everything, now we do not have. That is also God's blessing. So in that way, they took a couple of cups of water and then they were sleeping. Completely midnight, almost midnight and crossed midnight, and Naayanaar could not sleep at all because even though his mind was very strong, but the stomach did not listen to him. It started making his noise saying that I want some food. But he did not worry. At that time, the door had a knock. In this heavy rain, after midnight, who's going to visit them? And people know that they cannot feed in the middle of the night. So, who else? So, when he opened, he saw a Shiva devotee. He said, oh, that is the biggest blessing of the day. So, he invited him. He gave him a cloth to dry himself and gave new set of clothes. And he asked him to sit, made some warm water, and he gave him. And he said, you have to eat in our house. Whatever we can offer, we will offer you. Bhagavan agreed because he has come to play his drama. So he agreed. And then he said, okay. Then he went and spoke to his wife. This devotee has come from a long distance, it looks like. He looks very tired and he's overpowered by hunger. I can easily see from his face. Somehow we have to feed him. The wife was dismayed and she said, I do not know how to feed this devotee. I know you also want and I also want. I want to support your idea. Those were the days when the wives were also doing the same dharma as their husband. And she was condemning herself, this is my bad luck that I cannot feed this devotee of Shiva. And it's already midnight. Where to go and ask for some, borrow some food also, from some food, some grains or something, everybody will be fast asleep. They didn't want to bother anyone. And then she told, I have one idea. What do you sow this afternoon? Those paddies. Okay, just bring them and I will see whatever I can with that. heavy rain, midnight, and it was not a paved roads or anything. So he had a basket in his where he collects all the vegetables and stuff like that. He just put it on his head. That's an umbrella what a Maaranar had in his house. With the thing, he went into the paddy field, rice fields, where he sowed some seeds in that morning. He was walking, and like the rainwater was pouring like anything, and somehow he reached his field and plucked or gathered the seeds what he sowed that morning. Somehow, I don't know how much he collected. Then he came back. And then the wife also washed those seeds, and she started, then she said, I do not have firewood to cook this. So the next thought, to cut the bamboos or whatever they have put it for their roofs, he just cut one portion of the roof and brought those down, and then gave the firewood for her to cook. And she started cooking the thing. She cooked the paddy grain, and then she pounded like a rice, and then she said, I can make something with this, but I do not have any vegetable or any tubes like a potato or sweet potato, nothing I have in the house. Can you go and bring whatever these spinach, whatever you have been growing for the past 1 week, however long it is, please bring them. So 1 week old or 2 weeks old spinach, how much it would have grown? Not much, but he brought from his backyard, gave it to his wife. She made a wonderful, edible, what we call the food for the Shiva devotee. And then, then he wanted to, then she announced, the rice and the vegetable both are ready. You can invite the Shiva devotee to eat. Let us offer together. It's like offering, like a Naivedya. We will offer to this because he should not go empty in his stomach, because if he had to travel the next day morning, he needs strength. So let us offer this. So they went and prostrated and offered this food. You have come to remove my sin and show me the path to moksha. Those were the words which came from the Maaranar's mouth. They both of them prostrated at the feet of that Shiva devotee and then said, you are the one here to give us salvation today. Please accept our simple food and bless us. Because we made you wait for a long time. Because we had to prepare the food hot or warm enough that you can eat in this rainy night. So we are here to offer this. Kindly excuse our delay, but please accept. But next moment, who he was doting or worshipping all these days, that Shiva devotee who came to eat something in the house, he just stood like Jyoti Swarupa, like ball of fire. Okay? And then both the wife, Maaranar and his wife, were stunned. How come it's Bhagavan himself is standing in front of us. He wanted to come and he was ready to accept our food. And he said, yes, every day I was eating your best food also I ate, and I wanted to show to the world, even in utter penury, you will not give up your policy of feeding one Shiva devotee. Whether it is night, whether it's a rainy day, or whether it is a shiny, bright, sunny day, you do not have any difference. You will treat the Shiva devotee as you were treating when you had enough money also. That I wanted to show it to the world. And now, you always give feast to the devotee, my devotees, my dear devotees. You always feed them. So, you both will come, not only you. The lady also was supportive of your thought. She did not show her face saying that There is nothing in the house, how do you expect me to cook? She never asked that question even once. When you had enough money also, she cooked. When you did not have anything also, she was happy to cook for the Shiva devotee, including me today. I was watching all the hardships what you were going through. You walked your fields, got the paddy thing, came back and plucked some spinach from the backyard, and she cooked the best food what she could offer. And I have accepted that. And what is the reward? You both will come to Shivaloka. And Kubera, the god of wealth, will serve you both for the wonderful thing what you have done, Kainkaryam what you have done, the service what you have done to the society and also to my devotees. So that's how Ilayaangudi Maara Naayanaar lived his life and offered his life to serve the devotee of Lord Shiva, at least one devotee per day. When he had money, he gave a feast. When he did not have money, he fed at least some rice and spinach to God himself, who came to test whether he is going to feed him or not and show his devotion and the mind of service, and the true devotion to the entire world. That's why we are able to extol the greatness of Ilayaangudi Maara Naayanaar. As Sundaramurti had written in his Tirutondar Togai, Ilayaangudi Maara Naayanaar Adiyarkum Adiyen. So it is always, we have to give respect to the devotees of any Bhagavan. All the devotees. Sant ki jai, that's what we say. All the Sant, the good people, Sajjanas, the great people, we don't know how they are going to, they will not project themselves at all. But we should develop the thought of finding the true devotee, and then we have to offer our respect to those devotees, as Ilayaangudi Maara Naayanaar did his best to serve the Shivanadiyar, that Shiva devotee. And this kind of thought must be sown in the young minds of the future generation, so they will do their best to keep up our Samskriti or our culture, and then develop their best thought, positive thought throughout their life. Vanakkam, Nandri.